Hello all, welcome to the class of Complex Analysis, Probability and Statistical Methods, 18 MAT 41. Today, I'll be discussing a topic in Module 5, Sampling Theory, and the topic that I'm going to discuss is Test of Significance of Proportions. Myself, Dr. Madhura, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. Test of significance of proportions. The standard normal variate is given by z is equal to x minus np divided by square root of npq, where n is the sample size, p is the probability of success, q is the probability of failure, and x is the observed number of successes. When we perform an experiment, the observed number of successes also can be obtained, and that is usually denoted here by x. P as usual, probability of success, and Q is the probability of failure. Here n stands for the sample size. Let us note these points. The probable limits at 1% level of significance are given by P plus or minus 2.58 into square root of PQ divided by N. In some problems, if at all we have to obtain the percentage level of significance, which we call it as the probable limits or the confidence limits, the formula is given by P plus or minus 2.58 into square root of PQ by N. Since it is 99% confidence limits, ZC is taken as 2.58. And secondly, the probable limits at 5% level of significance are given by P plus or minus 1.96 into square root of PQ by N. So this is 95% confidence limits, or at the 5% level of significance, the probable limits are given by P plus or minus 1.96 into square root of PQ by N. It is 1.96 because we are talking about 95% confidence limits, or at 5% level of significance. So these are some of the formulae that we need to know to do problems on test of significance of proportions. Now let us see problems on test of significance of proportions. So we are discussing problems on test of significance of proportions. First question. A coin is tossed 1,000 times and head turns up 540 times. Decide on the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased. Right, let us analyze the problem first. It is given that a coin is tossed 1,000 times. So n is equal to 1,000, out of which head is turning up 540 times. So let us understand that the observed number of successes is 540 times. So we are assuming getting a head on the top is success. So observed number of successes, x is equal to 540 and n equal to 1,000. We have to find out that we have to check the hypothesis or decide on the hypothesis that the coin is unbiased. So unbiased means a fair coin whose probability is 1 by 2. I repeat, unbiased means a fair coin whose probability is 1 by 2. So getting a head on the top or getting a tail on the top is 1 out of 2 possibilities. So that is the reason it is 1 divided by 2. So very firstly, let us assume the hypothesis H naught as the coin is unbiased. The coin is unbiased. So with this assumption, let us now write down the probability of getting getting a head in one toss. Getting a head in one toss is given by P equal to 1 divided by 2. So for an unbiased coin, probability is always 1 by 2. So that is the reason also we write it down 1 by 2. The other way of understanding is we are looking forward for head on the top out of two choices, head or tail. So that is why 1 by 2. So if P is 1 by 2, we can write down Q value also equal to 1 by 2. Q is also equal to 1 by 2. Now it is given the sample size n equal to sample size n is 1000 and the observed number of successes x is equal to 540. So with this analyzation, now we can consider the expression for z, which is given by z is equal to x minus np divided by square root of npq. So first I will write on the formula. So z is equal to x minus n into p divided by square root of npq. So we will substitute all the known values for us. So z is equal to x is nothing but 540 minus 1000 into p. P is 0.5. The whole divided by square root of n into p into q. 1000 into 0.5 into 0.5. So this value after simplification using a calculator we can get the answer easily. So here the z value is 2.53. We can round off our values to 2 decimals because we compare each of these z values with z 0.05 and z 0.01. So on observation we can write down, so this z value is greater than z 0.05 at 5% level of significance, which is 1.96, and this 2.53 is less than z 0.01, which is 2.58. That is at 1% level of significance. So what is the conclusion? We can accept the hypothesis, right? What is the statement says? If the obtained value is less than the table value, then the hypothesis is accepted. If the obtained value is greater than the table value, then we reject the hypothesis. So calculated value, what we have calculated, we call it as calculated value. So if the calculated value is less than the table value, then we accept the hypothesis. If the calculated value is greater than the table value, then we reject the hypothesis. So here in this problem, we are accepting the hypothesis at 1% level of significance and rejecting the hypothesis at 5% level of significance. So accepting the hypothesis means the coin is unbiased. So let us conclude the lines. Thus, the hypothesis, that is H naught, is accepted at 1% level of significance, is accepted at 1% level of significance and rejected at 5% level of significance. 5% level of significance. So that is, coin is unbiased. Coin is unbiased at 1% level of significance. So that's how a simple problem on Z test under the case that test of significance of proportions we can be obtained easily. We'll see the second problem now. A die is thrown. A die is thrown 9,000 times. 9,000 times, and a throw of 3 or 4 was observed 3,240 times. Show that the die cannot be regarded as an unbiased one. The die cannot be regarded as an unbiased one. So with respect to die, we are talking about the unbiased. So it is a fair die. Fair die means probabilities can be equal. Probabilities can be equally distributed. So we will see what is the probability of getting 3 or 4 on the die. So first we need to know the probability P. So probability of getting 3 or 4 in a single throw. Is P equal to 2 divided by 6. So let me tell you how it is 2 divided by 6. We are expecting a throw 3 or 4 on the face while throwing a single die. So when we throw the die single time, one time, we are checking forward for 3 or 4 to be seen on the screen. So 3 or 4 to be seen on the face. So 2 choices we are talking about out of 6. 6 is the total possibilities whenever we throw a die. Either it can be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 on the face. So that is why total possible outcomes is 6, and we can expect either 3 or 4 to be seen on the face. So that is why 2 options, 3 or 4 out of 6. So 2 by 6 gives us 1 by 3. So if P is 1 by 3, we can easily calculate Q. Q is 1 minus 1 by 3, which is equal to 2 by 3. 2 by 3. And it is given the sample size. Here we are throwing the die 9,000 times. So N is equal to 9,000. And the observed number of successes. Observed number of successes. X is equal to 3,240. Here getting a success is nothing but getting 3 or 4 on the as an observed outcome. So getting the 3 or 4 as observed outcome is out of 9,000, it is 3,240 times. So that is why X is equal to 3,240. Now we can substitute all these into the formula for Z test, that is test of significance of proportions. Let us write on the formula and substitute it to the formula. So therefore Z is equal to X minus NP divided by square root of NPQ. Let us substitute all the known values. So Z is equal to X minus NP 3240 minus N into P 9,000 multiplied by 1 by 3 the whole divided by square root of NPQ. So 9000 into P is 1 by 3, Q is 2 by 3. So with the help of a calculator, we are getting the answer for Z here as 5.37. Here we round off our values to 2 decimal because Z on comparison to the table values is also up to 2 decimals only, no? So that is why. We observe that this value of Z is greater than both the levels of significance. So it is greater than Z 0.05, which is 1.96, as well as this is greater than Z 0.01, which is 2.58. So since this value of Z is means calculated value of Z is greater than the table value of Z, we conclude that the hypothesis is rejected. So what is the hypothesis here? We can assume the hypothesis H naught as it is a unbiased one. The die is a unbiased one. So if we assume the hypothesis in that way, we are rejecting the hypothesis. So the hypothesis that the die is an unbiased one is rejected because the calculated value is greater than both the table values at 1% and 5% level of significance. We are rejecting the hypothesis. So this is one and the same as saying the die is biased. The die is biased. So this was another simple problem with respect to die. Third problem. A manufacturer claimed that at least 95% of the equipment which he supplied to a factory conformed to specifications. An examination of a sample of 200 pieces of equipment revealed that 18 of them were faulty. 18 of them were faulty. Test his claim at a significance level of 1% and 5%. So let us first analyze the data. It is said that a manufacturer claimed that at least 95% of the equipment which he supplied to a factory conformed to specifications. Means they are confirmed that the product is up to the mark. About 95% of the equipment, they have confirmed that it is up to the mark. It is up to the satisfaction. An examination of a sample of 200 pieces are taken of equipment, and it revealed that 18 of them were faulty. So out of 200 pieces that were collected, 18 of them were observed to be faulty. Faulty means it was not up to the mark. So we have to test his claim at a significance level of 1% and 5%. Testing his claim here means we have to check whether whatever the manufacturer is telling, that 95% he has checked the equipment and it is not faulty. 5% of them are faulty, 95% of them are not faulty, he is saying, and we need to check whether his claim is correct or not at both 1% and 5% level of significances. So let us first understand that since 95% of the equipment are conformed to specifications, we can say that 5% are not confirmed, means 5% of them are faulty. So we'll just quote the same thing first. 95% of equipment, 95% of equipment conformed to specifications. So this implies that 5% are not conform to specifications. 5% of them are not conform to specifications. Means 5% are assumed to be faulty. That is, meaning is may be faulty. May be faulty. So that is P equal to 5%, which is 0.05. And this implies Q is 1 minus 0.05, which is 0.95. So a manufacturer has claimed that he is saying that 95% of the items are checked and they are conformed to specifications. But accordingly, we have to check whether his claim is accepted or rejected. So if 95% of the equipment are conformed to specifications, remaining 5% will be assumed to be faulty. So that we are assuming as a success. So probability of getting a success is 5%, 0.05, and hence Q is equal to 0.95. Now let us assume that X denote, the observed number of successes. The observed number of successes. That is number of faulty items. Number of faulty items. So it is given from the data that X is equal to 18. Reading the data, we can say that 18 of them were faulty. And we have collected a sample of 200 pieces. We have collected a sample of 200 pieces. So N is equal to 200. So now we know N, X, P, Q, everything. So we can apply the formula. So Z test is given by X minus N into P, the whole divided by square root of NPQ. Let us substitute all the known values. 18 minus 200 into 0.05, the whole divided by square root of NPQ. Square root of 200 into PQ, 0.05 into 0.95. This entire thing under the root. So we can evaluate this, and Z is equal to, in this case, 2.595. 595, or approximately, if you want to round it off to the two decimals, you can write it down as 2.60. And we observe that 2.60 is greater than both the levels of significance. It is greater than Z 0.05, which is 1.96, and as well as greater than Z 0.01, which is 2.58. So since the tabulated value, calculated value is greater than the table value, we conclude that the hypothesis is not accepted or it is rejected. That is, his claim is not supported. Thus, the manufacturer claim is not supported. So we can conclude that the manufacturer claim is not supported, the hypothesis is rejected. So here it is obvious to understand that the hypothesis is claiming whatever the manufacturer is claiming is true. So he is claiming that 95% of the items are conform to specifications, means he has verified the items and he is selling it. But that is not true accordingly, because we have got Z calculated value is greater than the table value. So that is why we are rejecting the hypothesis, which is one and the same as saying the manufacturer claim is not supported. So we'll see fourth problem now. A biased coin is tossed. A biased coin is tossed 500 times and head turns up 120 times. Find the 95% confidence limits. Find the 95% confidence limits for the proportion of heads, for the proportion of heads, for the proportion of heads turning up in infinitely many tosses. In infinitely many tosses. And it is given that ZC is equal to 1.96. So ZC, where C takes the value 0.05, because we are talking about 95% confidence limits now. So just for your understanding, it is Z 0.05 equal to 1.96. Now let us do the solution for this. So since it is given a biased coin, we have to find out the probability separately. So how can we find out the probability separately is probability of success is, so here we have to assume getting a head on the toss is a success. So how can we obtain the probability of success? P is 120 divided by 500, because out of 500 times the coin is tossed, head is turning up 120 times. So if this was an unbiased coin, we would have obtained probability of getting a head is 1 by 2. But since it is a biased coin, we have to obtain the probability separately. So let us do that first. Since the coin is biased, the probability of head turning up is equal to probability of head turning up is 120 divided by 500. So this gives us P equal to 0.24, and therefore we can easily find out Q, which is 1 minus 0.24, 1 minus 0.24, and that gives us Q is equal to 0.76. Now we know P and Q. The sample size N is equal to 500 because coin is tossed 500 times, no? So that is why sample size N is equal to 500, and the observed number of successes X is equal to 120. So of course in this problem we need not write down X because we observe that the question is based on finding the 95% confidence limits. So let us now write on the formula for confidence limits wherein X is not required, but X was indirectly used while finding out the probability P. While finding out the probability P, X was indirectly used. So we will now write down the formula. 95% confidence limits are obtained by the formula P plus or minus 1.96 into square root of PQ by N. We recall it from the theory. If it is 95% confidence limits, then it is P plus or minus 1.96 into square root of PQ by N. If it is 99% confidence limits, then it is P plus or minus 2.58 into square root of PQ by N. That is 95% confidence limits is same as saying confidence limits for 5% level of significance. The other one, 99% confidence limits, is one and the same as saying confidence limits for 1% level of significance. So let us substitute all the known things. P is nothing but 0.24 plus or minus 1.96 into square root of PQ divided by N. So that is 0.24 multiplied by 0.76. The whole divided by N is 500. So we observe that X is anyway not there in the formula. So if you write down also fine. Don't write also, that's okay. So we have 0.24 plus or minus this on evaluation 1.96 into square root value gives us 0.0374. And one with the plus sign, the other one with the minus sign. We have two limits values over here. So first I will write on the smaller value taking minus sign, 0.2026, and the second one is 0.2774. So we will say this approximately, this is 20% and this approximately is 28%. We will get 27.7, no? We can round it off to 28%. So approximately 20% and 20% to 28% proportion of heads turns up in infinitely many tosses under 5% level of significance. So we can write on the conclusion now. Thus, 20% to 28% proportion of heads turns up in infinitely many tosses under 5% level of significance. So this problem was based on obtaining the confidence limits. So how much percentage of it we are confident that in infinitely many tosses heads turns up. So that was the question for us. Now we'll see one last problem. A sample of 900 days was taken in a coastal town and it was found that on 100 days the weather was very hot. The weather was very hot. Obtain the probable limits. Obtain the probable limits of the percentage of very hot weather and it is given that ZC is equal to 2.58. Means that 1% level of significance, we are checking that what is the probable limits, means what percentage to what percentage you can expect the weather to be very hot in a coastal town. So at 1% level of significance, we are verifying the problem. We are finding out those probable limits or the confidence limits. So probability of very hot weather is 100 days out of 900. So we will write down P first. Probability of very hot weather is P equal to 100 out of 900, which is 1 by 9. If P is 1 by 9, Q is 1 minus 1 by 9, which gives us 8 by 9. And by data, we can write down the sample size N is equal to 900. So with this, we can write down the formula for probable limits. With respect to 1% level of significance, we have to write down the formula. So probable limits is given by P plus or minus 2.58 into square root of PQ divided by N. So substituting all the known values, it is 1 by 9 plus or minus 2.58 into square root of 1 by 9 multiplied by 8 by 9, the whole divided by N. N is 900. So this gives us, evaluating this with the minus sign first and with the plus sign later, always the lower limit and then the upper limit for us. So 0.084 and 0.138. So the probable limits of very hot weather is 8.4% to 13.8%. We can conclude in terms of percentage when we want to write on this, multiply by 100 and write it down. So it is 8.4% to 13.8%. 8%. So thus, the probable limits of very hot weather is 8.4% to 13.8%. So this was finding the confidence limits or the probable limits with respect to 1% level of significance. Since it is 1% level of significance, we have the value here as 2.58. Whereas in the last problem that we discussed, we saw that it was 5% level of significance and we used ZC value is equal to 1.96. So according to the data, we are going to find it out. So either at 1% or 5% level of significance, we are finding out the probable limits of the given data. So with this question, it was mentioned to find it out at 1% level of significance. So these are some of the problems on test of significance of proportions. So under Z test. Hope you have followed these problems. Thank you for watching.